Hi everybody, I've never made a YouTube video before, so I'm sorry if this is really kind of weird and not professional. But I watched this video today, just recently, by Miss Jen Fabulous, and she made a video about parabens. And I've heard there's a few videos about this on YouTube, and it's, in my opinion, getting a lot more hype than it really deserves. And the reason why I think this is because I don't think that parabens are dangerous. Now, you might be saying, but why? Because apparently they're found in breast cancer tissue and so on. Well, to start off, I'm in my fourth and final year of a Bachelor of Science. I'm majoring in zoology and minoring in neuroscience. So I do have a fair bit of background in understanding, interpreting scientific paper and articles and being able to draw conclusions from them. Because that is a skill, and I think that people take a paper, don't really consider the situation in which the findings were made, and then run with it. So I'm going to lay it out for you why I don't think parabens are dangerous. So I looked up some papers. If you want to look up some primary articles, that is, papers that are published in journal articles by scientists, they're going to get a little wordy, a little mouthy, lots of jargon usually in these articles, but you're going to go straight to the source and you're going to get a lot more reliable information. So I recommend always using Google Scholar. So you can go google.ca/scholar and search for some things that way and read the words that scientists themselves have published. And these papers go through very rigorous screening as well. They need to be peer-reviewed by anonymous scientists, experts in that particular field. They need to be accepted into a journal article. A lot of papers are rejected. It's very difficult to get your paper actually published. So generally speaking, you want to take everything with a grain of salt and really analyze what these people do, but they're much more accurate and true than what you might read in a magazine or what you might see on TV. So it's very important if you're ever interested in something that the media is saying, especially about sort of dangerous chemicals that you find in your food and so on, definitely go straight to the source and look up some papers by scientists. But that was a tangent, so why do I think parabens aren't dangerous? First and major thing, these parabens are very quickly metabolized and excreted in your urine. Okay, so they don't stay in your body very long. You're going to get there's very mild concentrations that's actually in your cosmetics. Those will be absorbed into your bloodstream, go mostly to your liver to be metabolized, and then you'll pee them out, basically. Okay, so any effects that we're going to see, they're going to be short term, probably going to be limited chronic damage if you are using small amounts every day. So let's say you stop using these products right now, you won't have any parabens in your body fairly quickly compared to some other chemicals that are longer lasting, that are not as easily metabolized. Also, this means since they're so easily metabolized, it's not going to cause a lot of damage to your liver, so you don't have to worry about liver damage because your liver isn't working really hard to break them down because they're fairly easy to metabolize. Okay, that's the first thing. And my source for that, by the way, is a medical article by ChemWatch, which I believe is actually a company, so I would take everything with a grain of salt said by a company. But the fact that it's very quickly metabolized is not only mentioned in that ChemWatch article, but also in an article, which is the second article I'm going to be talking about. Sorry, I have it here on my computer. It's called Concentrations of Parabens in Human Breast Tumors. So if you want to look this up, again, just throw that title into Google Scholar. You can read it yourself. They're very, very quickly and easily metabolized, so not a whole lot of chronic damage can really occur. Okay, especially considering the very small concentrations that are found in your makeup. If you were drinking a bunch of parabens every day, that might be quite a problem. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about small amounts that are found in your makeup that have been approved. All makeup does need to be approved. I'm not saying that no makeup is carcinogenic. I believe very strongly that some makeup is carcinogenic, but parabens in particular I don't think is the cause of this. So also in Miss Jen Fabulous's video, she talks about breast tissue, that they find parabens in breast tissue. I've actually found that article, which is that concentrations of parabens in human breast tumors. The humorous thing to me about this article, they only used 20 samples. So think about asking 20 people, what's your favorite color? Like, it's possible that you get everyone that says the answer red, right? So then you might assume every person in the world, their favorite color is red, right? That's not the case, okay? So this is dealing with a very small sample size, probably within one race, so you're not even looking at between different races or anything. They detected paraben, okay? That's what they did. But they only looked at breast tissue samples that actually had tumors, okay? So they were only looking at tumors. So they didn't even compare to normal breast tissue. So it might be just that normal breast tissue contains parabens, okay? Because parabens do bind to estrogen receptors, like Miss Jen Fabulous also mentioned that they can act like estrogen. But, I mean, they only looked at 20 samples from tumors. They didn't say, here's what tumors have, here's what normal tissue has. So it might just be that they have an equivalent amount of parabens in both cancerous breast tissue as well as normal breast tissue. So, I mean, to say that parabens cause parabens cause breast cancer, highly immature at this point, a little naive in terms of taking what the scientists actually did and drawing conclusions from it. And you might not be able to see that quite so clearly. You might just say, well, they found it in the breast tissue, so therefore parabens cause cancer. That's almost like saying they found blood in the samples, therefore blood causes breast cancer. Okay, so you really take this sort of stuff with a grain of salt, all right? So the fact that they only used 20 samples, they didn't compare it to non-cancerous tissue, I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. That's not what I'm trying to say with this video. I'm trying to say that with the information that's available, to me, it doesn't appear as though parabens are something to freak out about, okay? Another thing that I looked at was an article, because she mentioned about men using it. I don't really think that the action of parabens is going to be great enough to actually cause a sort of sexual identity type, not sexual identity, but physically cause you to become more female, because that does take a lot of estrogen to do for men. So I wouldn't worry too much about that if you're a man, and also if you're worried about the damage it might cause to your sperm or your semen, because I know that's also an issue with estrogen. Where is this article here? Okay, here we go. So this article is called Urinary Concentrations of Parabens and Serum Hormone Levels, Semen Quality Parameters, and Sperm DNA Damage. That's a text message. Their main conclusions here say, we found no evidence for a relationship between urinary parabens and hormone levels or semen quality through various measures. So essentially what they're saying here is that parabens don't damage sperm. They don't seem to have any effect on sperm. Okay, so you're fine with that. And then, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, there's one more article that I find really funny that to me is sort of my final argument of why I think parabens are a little bit overexposed. People freaking out about them for no reason. This article is called Determination of Parabens in House Dust by Pressurized Hot Water Extraction followed by stir-bar sorptive extraction and thermal desorptive gas chromatography mass spectrometry. Just so if you want to look it up, that's why I'm saying these titles. Basically, this article says you can find fairly high levels of parabens in house dust. Okay, so are you going to tell me that house dust is going to give me cancer because it has parabens in it? No, right? So before you throw out all your fancy, expensive MAC concealers and all these things or whatever makeup that has parabens in them, which I'm sure is a lot, consider dusting every day, okay, before you consider doing that, because it actually even says in here, this is a quote, high levels of parabens found in the samples. Okay, so and the rest of the sentence is irrelevant to what I want to say, but basically the point here is there's high levels of paraben in dust, like, you know, dust that gets on surfaces that you need to clean up that your mom complains about. Alright, so Anyways, hopefully this video was helpful and informative to some people. Like I said originally in the beginning of the video, always go straight to the source if possible. Google Scholar, excellent resource. Try to educate yourself about how am I going to take scientific studies and draw my own conclusions about what is safe for me, what is dangerous to myself and my family. And I just want to conclude again, this is not in any way a personal attack on anyone. It's simply a common mistake that you might not catch if you weren't educated in, at a university level in science. Okay, because even at the high school level, I mean, I wasn't even aware about journal articles. I didn't even know this existed in high school. Okay, so I'm not at all trying to bash anyone. I just want to try and give you accurate information that's not blown out of proportion by media. Okay. So again, hopefully this helped, and have a good one, good day. Okay, bye.